So we're here in my garage, and I have the unit set up on just a toolbox here, and then I have the reservoir taken off of its mount and then kind of hanging here. And then this piece right here is for filling with oil. This is the piece of polycarbonate. It's screwed in here. And so now what I'm going to do is show you how I fill it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my air compressor here filled to 10 to 15 psi, kind of low. I don't have my regulators broken, so I just have to fill it up. But we're going to just do a little bit in there, and throw oil everywhere. Fuck. Oh, all right, fuck all that mess. Jesus Christ. Probably going to keep that in there because I'm sure you guys will find it funny, but I fucking hate hydraulic oil with a burning passion. So, of course, I'm building products that use hydraulic oil. So my goal of doing this is to get this thing so perfect and figured out in the next coming generations that I never have to touch oil again. I hate oil. If there was a good way to make artificial muscles that didn't have oil, I'd be doing it that way. There are a couple other ways, but this is the strongest way to do it. God, that's so annoying. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to fill this. If you can see, you might be able to see a little bit, but this is clear, so you can kind of see it, though it's not a very optically pure plastic. But this is the bladder, the black tube in here, and then the clear tube is a pressure vessel. So when I put air into it, it forces the oil out, and actually the goal was to get the air bubbles out and not shoot oil into the air. Of course, that didn't fucking happen. But so now I'm taking the compressor pressed air off, and I'm allowing it to relax, and you see the oil just dropped in, and we spilled a bunch, so we lost some. So now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add some more, and so this is kind of how I get it filled. So I just kind of play with it. I also have it plugged in, and I'm gonna run the motor back and forth a little bit. Let's do this time. There we go. See, that's kind of how it's supposed to normally work. Maybe the air pressure was too high, but I just do that, and I don't use too much pressure because I don't want to mess with the bladder, but you can really see it on the ends being pressed out, and this is squeezing all the air out. And this is actually how it forces the air into the pump to begin with, so this will work in any orientation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, cycle this a couple of times, fill it with oil, and then I'm going to get back on the camera and show you how I'm going to take this off and seal it. Alright, everything's still all fucking oily, but I got this filled most of the way now, and then this has been sitting here to let kind of the air drain out of it, and then, one second, I gotta do this. Okay, so I have this on my vacuum pump here. So I actually got this vacuum pump specifically for filling this reservoir, not for this part, but I am using this for the first time actually, so we'll see how that works. The oil won't go fucking everywhere. But I actually got it for filling the muscle, which is the next thing I'm going to show. But for now, what I'm going to do is this is got just a little bit, it's a little bit oblong, and I calculated it to be a full cylinder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this on and just kind of tap it and get this to where it pulls a little bit of the air out of this and makes it into a full sphere. And then I'll cut this off, take it off, and then tighten that down, and that'll be filled with the proper amount of oil. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So good, so that looks right about there. So I'm going to take this off, and I'll be trying to be quick about it because it this is a ball joint in here, so this won't leak oil, hopefully. As we do it, it'll leak a little bit, but and I should have had a towel there because I forgot that, but I'm filming it, so I'm forgetting steps. But now I'm just going to dab up a little bit, just enough, getting oil all over fucking everything, man. I swear oil is the worst. Need a robot to do this. Okay, so now that I got that there, I put this in right here, which is not ready either. Fuck. Throw some tape on there. So I forgot to put the Teflon on in order to make a proper seal. I don't want this thing leaking. I also don't want to have to screw it down incredibly tight. See, the oil is coming up right now. I should have had this done before. Didn't. So here's what we're gonna do. Turn that on. Yep, that worked. Great. Great, that bought me some time. If I can get the fucking thing on there. Right, so now, got a little bit of air. I think that looks right about right. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten this on. And let's look at the thing. Yeah, it still looks to be holding the proper amount of fluid in there. So tighten that on like that. One wrench was missing. Didn't have my mise en place set up. All right, great. And we don't want that over tight. That's probably good. So now I'm going to release this, and should be good. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So I think the reservoir is now all full of oil, and if I'm looking at it, I'm actually pretty happy with that. Here, one sec. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, I think. Hold it up to some light so I can see what's going on here. But yeah, looks like that's actually almost perfect. Looks like that really turned into like a perfect cylinder, which is exactly what we want, because my math was done for a perfect cylinder when I did this. So now that's there. So now the reservoir is full. So now I'm going to switch over and I'm going to show you guys how what I have to do in order to get the actuator attached to this, because well, it'll probably be just easier to see, but essentially, yeah, so we'll just switch over and I'll show you guys. So that's what we're going to do now. Alrighty, so I got this kind of crazy setup. It's not exactly the best way to do this. There's going to be a better way to do this in the future, but this is prototyping, and so it is what it is. So I got the vacuum pump here. Also, I cleaned up more oil, just saying. Anyway, it comes up over here, so it's up nice and high, and then the tube comes down and attaches to the actuator right there, and then extension cords on top of it. Let me move that. There we go. So that's sitting there. So what this is going to do is I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to suck out all the fluid and any air that's in here. So I'm going to pull a vacuum on this, and it'll rise up, and if it fills up too much, I'll have to stop it, undo it, drain it, and then do it again, which will be a pain in the ass, but I'll do it anyway. And then what that's going to do is it's going to essentially pull this down to just, it's going to be like a pancake, and there won't be any fluid in here, because the unit in the reservoir over there has enough oil to fill this. It was designed so there's enough oil to fill this and then completely, and then also have enough spare for recycling and thermal cooling and stuff like that too. So that this ended up being the best way to do it. Is it's too hard to calculate whether or not this is full, to get the thing perfectly full. The best way to do it is to get it perfectly empty and then have enough in the reservoir in order to refill it back up. So that's what we're doing here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it on, and there we go. We see there is some oil, and also it is turning white like beer, and that's because gases are dissolving out of it. So we'll see how high it gets. Looks pretty good. This is pretty darn flat right now. So there we are. Looks like that's probably about as high as we're gonna go. So I'm just gonna leave this on here, and see, it's actually dropped back down. So a lot of what pulls it out when you first do this is air dissolving out of the oil. So we'll leave this on for a little bit, and then this type of coupling right here, which is also how it attaches to the unit, is nice because I can just pop this and then it'll be sealed in here and there's no leakage there. So once I pull this off and I just drop it like this will be sealed. This will be completely out of air down here, and I'll be able to plug it into the reservoir, and that's where it'll get its fluid. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we'll be doing next, and I'll test it, and then I'll film the rest of the video. So filmed out of order, but there we go. All right, so now I'm gonna pull off this cover here on the nipple so that it doesn't leak, and then I'm just gonna plug it in. Do both hands here, but there we go. It should be full of oil now, and this will probably slowly fill back up because I'd rather stay at a kind of evened out pressure. One thing we can do, and I'll actually do right now, but I'll put in a little bit of compressed air into this, and that'll push the oil, and it can actually leak through the pump. It's not a perfect seal, and then it'll fill that up. But now we should have the exact perfect amount of oil in this system, and should be good to go and ready for testing. So pretty exciting. There we go. All right, so that is the video. So there should be a another video up on YouTube. There's going to be a link in the description, and that's going to be me explaining how that thing actually fully works, and a little bit of a demonstration of it. Unfortunately, the actuator actually broke on me while I was doing while I was getting it ready. I was actually getting ready for a conference. I ended up not going to because it failed, but yeah, so there is a video of me explaining how the unit works, which is what that thing is. So check out that video as well. There'll be a link below. And then if you like what I'm doing here, do me a favor and subscribe and hit the bell. It'd really help me out. We're doing really good on view time, but we're not doing very good on subscribers. So I'd really like to grow this channel and really like to be able to keep showing you guys what I'm working on. So thanks. Do me a favor, do that, and thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one.